Hello everybody, and welcome back to NorCal Slot Car Scene. Last week we talked about IROC sets, and hopefully your club has one or two that you race regularly. Today we're going to talk about lane rotation for IROC because it's different than a standard race, where you just go from one lane to the other because your driver and the car are changing at the same time. The rotation sequence you use is the same as you use for standard racing, but in an IROC, the cars are going to stay on the lane while the drivers change. On this track example, you come in on red, go to white, go to blue, go to yellow, and you exit on yellow. We're also going to number the cars in that same lane change sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will make it easier for the rotation. Now let's assume we've run the first heat, and here's where the 4 cars finish. Assuming that we're running a round robin with more than 4 drivers, the driver on lane 4 is going to be sitting out. So he places a marker on the track next to where his car finished, just like you do in a normal non-IROC race. Here's where it gets a little tricky. The driver in car number 3 is going to be rotating to lane 4. So what we need to do is move the yellow car from lane 4 into the position where the driver in car 3 finished. This is now continued from lane 3 to lane 2 and to lane 1. So if we go back to that first heat, here's the sequence of rotation. 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, and 1 goes back to the start line. If the driver entering the race on lane 1 has already raced on lane 4, the red car would go to where his marker is instead of the start line. Since the rotation sequence is 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, one of the easy ways to keep track of this is to have the lane numbers on both sides of the driver's panels, so it's easy to match up the lane colors with the sequence numbers. If your track uses a European-style rotation, where you're not going from straight left to right, the process is actually the same. Again, this is where numbering the cars makes it much easier. We number the cars in the sequence that the cars are rotated, so 1, 2, 3, 4. After we run the first heat, the cars stop in these positions. The driver in lane 4, which in this sequence is the white lane, marks his car. Now we do the same rotation as before, but it's by number. 4 goes to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, and 1 back to the start line. IROC racing can be loads of fun, and we can kind of determine who's the best driver since everybody's driving the same cars. I hope this takes the mystery out of IROC rotation, and you'll enjoy building and racing IROC sets. Thanks for watching. This is Jim Rose with NorCal Slot Car Scene.